105 of the Fan Cast. I had a bout of being, I had a boomer moment, not because of my brain, because of health, for a good half hour or so. And now we're live, and my daughter's coming over here.
She popped up on camera.
I could turn the camera on. She's right beside me.
No,
Daddy,
she
are you
popped up
feeling
on
okay?
camera. It was hilarious.
You want me to turn the camera on?
I don't care.
Yeah.
I look like I worked all day.
Oh,
Hi,
why is
daughter.
Why is it? Oh, that's weird. Do it this way.
Oh, hey.
Hello.
Did you seriously say that you had a boomer moment?
Yes, I did seriously say I had a boomer moment.
While you were away having your boomer moment, she popped in and was like waving, and I was like, "Well, all right then."
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, she came. I had poured a beer, and I told my wife to come down
earlier, and I was like, "Oh, there's my face," and I just danced a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's take a jug of, or even a Home Depot can, and put chili. Let's put turkey and put some porter in there. Shake it up, and that's probably how your bowel is going right now. So there's the culprit.
Yeah. Well, I started my day with beer and donuts, so maybe that was part of it.
Oh my God, dude, it just gets worse.
9:00 this morning, my brother and I went over to one of the breweries, and we had they had a special collaboration Berliner Weiss. It was strawberry lemonade, and then they had a special donut that was made to coincide with it. That was good. And then we went to Burger King, which probably I had a double Whopper, which was probably a bad idea because I don't typically eat that stuff, and who knows. Then we went to another brewery, and I waited for an hour they had a special beer that the Oreo cookies, you have the golden Oreos and you have the regular ones.
Right.
So they have a golden Oreo infused, it's a cream ale, and they had it's one of their stouts. I thought it was one of their milk stouts that they then infused with Oreo cookies. And they're supposed to basically make a half and half with it. They called it, I forget what they called it, but they had put nitrogen injection in that. Apparently when they did this a few weeks ago, it worked out. And today, so that was supposed to be at 11. And we got there and it wasn't, since my brother he can't do chocolate anyway. So he had the golden Oreo one, and I had a little bit of it. I was like, yeah, it was really, really sweet. And we waited, and finally they called it. So then I had some of the brewer's breakfast. So then I came home, ate some, regular stuff, and then I made chili and with the turkey, and who knows? So who knows what's grumbling down there? Not to be too gross. Well, it doesn't matter if this is the kind of, that's what I meant to open it.
This is life.
Yeah, I meant to open it with, we're going to talk about balls, boobs, and butts on here, so that the Google AI picks us up and realizes we're not made for children. So that gets me to my first topic. If I might rant a bit, and you guys, if you know much about what's going on with the FTC. I've seen a bunch of videos on YouTube about it. People are freaking out. Okay. Mainly because the FTC has decided that they can fine video creators up to $42,000 per video for violating Coppa. This is a law that was horrible back in the 90s, and it just gets worse. Now, I'm all for protecting children online, especially from predators. Coppa is like gun control. It does not do what they're trying to accomplish other than anyone else. So the Coppa law specific, this is what really gets me. So the FTC is stating in their lawsuit. So the Attorney General of the state of New York, Letitia James, I keep on saying James, and the FTC joined up, and they won a lawsuit of 170 mil against Google and YouTube. Okay. Now, I know Google makes a lot of money into various things. I don't know if YouTube is still, if it's making money yet. I know part of why Google bought them is they were losing money hand over fist with their old pricing models. I'm going to very slowly sip on some water here. But it's no chump change. And they basically made them responsible for things. And come January of 2020, all hell's going to break loose. Google, every time I log in on my channel or on the Fan Caste channel, I get asked, hey, do you want to make, do you need to market not for children, which I did. My beer reviews, I've started marking for 18 or older, even though it's technically 21 in the drinking age in the US.
Mm-hmm.
And just to be safe. And of course, now here's the real, to me, there's several real kick in the balls. The first one is in order to have a Google account, right? So in order for them to track you effectively, you have to have an account on YouTube. You have to state that you're over 13. And they specifically say children are under the age of 13. So we're already PG-13. There's to begin with. Okay. And I know that there are channels that target kids, but they're supposed to be about protecting children from predators, and none of these channels are predatorial in the regard of that you would normally think of a child predator. They might be predatorial in the way that they market stuff, right? Mommy, I want to buy stuff.
Yep.
And a lot of it is the Coppa law goes back, it's 21 years old. Hey, the Coppa law is legal now, it can drink. So that was 1988, 89. Anyway, back then, it even specifically states that if a website, so it's not, I forget the word, it's not the official, or it's not, basically it's whoever's controlling the website and the one who's gathering the information. Hey, Megatron 95, thanks for joining. Sorry we're so late, but as content creators, we do not gather any of that information. Now we can see analytics in the background. It will tell you who some of your subscribers are, but all it does is tell you, a breakdown based on. So you get a video with some views, and maybe I ought to bring it up and share or something. Maybe I can do something like that, but it'll tell you some of the demographics of the people only if they have Google accounts. So if they're on YouTube and have an account, they've already had to declare that they're over 13. Right. So it's like, what the heck, So, and I feel that they're way overstepping their bounds, but they have the deep pockets. So they can go after whomever they want, and no one's going to be able to fight them in court long enough to win a case.
Because they'll bleed them dry with attorney costs and everything else. Yeah.
Right. And all they'll do is, it's the government, all they got to do is contact somebody, they're going to, YouTube and Google are going to snap to. Now, on the other side of this, because this is, right. So anyway, you guys have any thoughts on that side before I give what I think is really going on here? Nothing?
I just think people should monitor their children better.
That's part of it. Well, back then, there was some applications, I can't remember what they were all called, like Nanny something, and these things that you could, these plugins and things, and with Windows that would, if your kids tried to go to sites you didn't want them to, would pop up, you're blocked and all that. And a lot of home network machine things will block all that stuff by default. But the law specifically states if you want your child to have access to a site that they believe the site owner believes they shouldn't, you have to send them a fax stating that right. That's how old it is, right?
Does that even exist anymore?
Oh yeah, people still use it, but not to the extent that it used to.
Right.
And you have people who don't even have cell phones who are making these laws. And so again, it's a stereotypical 20th century phenomenon that we started getting laws that allowed these government agencies to create regulations within the bound of the law, which is actually not constitutional. But hey, when's that ever stopped the government? So
exactly.
So my conspiratorial side. So I'm going to channel a little bit of David Applegate here. I see it is well, two things. One, both Facebook and YouTube and I think even Twitter have been saying that they want to be regulated. And people, it's like, well, why would they want to be regulated? Why would they want government interference? Competition. If you have the market and you have the money and the regulations, that you have the money to enforce regulations, when you are regulated, then you have far less of a chance that a competitor is going to come up because they cannot afford to overcome the legislation.
Right. Because they'll have to sue their way in, basically.
Yeah. So that's one side. And we've got a lot of things popping up. Facebook, not so much, but definitely YouTube, definitely Twitter. You have Gab, you have BitChute, you have Minds, you have several other platforms. There's Library, there's other things out there, and my videos are out there as well. And on the other side is it really feels like an in run around free speech, and they're just using the kids as a battering ram. Any time a politician or bureaucrat says they're doing something to protect the children, I pause and look very long and hard, because quite often they are, but that's like the very tip of the iceberg, and they're doing a lot of other shenanigans underneath that have nothing to do with protecting kids.
Shenanigans.
Trying to cover up Epstein.
Yeah, and I saw your post on that. That was awesome. I mean, that's on
It's the
Facebook.
truth.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't care about all, I mean, like the vaping and all this stuff. Yeah, it's like, but we're never going to know. You know, back in the 90s when all that stuff was blowing up about Bill Clinton and his very, his sexual predator practices, they covered it all up. Huh?
Dude,
His peccadillos.
Yeah. Well, they covered it all up. And I remember people saying, even conservatives saying, oh yeah, the media knows all this stuff about Clinton and they can't wait until after the election or it's all going to come out. Well, that's been 20 years and nothing has been released, and it's just getting worse.
there's some things coming to a head. I mean, it's coming. There's proof. I don't think it should be discussed on YouTube because it's a quick way to get you
Yeah.
flagged and stuff. But we can have a
Ark
conversation.
incited.
Yeah. But well, yeah, then let's not. But I'm just saying that, I remember, Hillary saying it was a vast right-wing conspiracy, and they circled the wagons and they protected it, and they still are. And, there are things that we're finding out now about JFK and LBJ. Some of it has been under the hush, but some things have been found to be true or close to true. I think some of it's, been blown out of proportion and stuff. I don't know if I'm going to be alive by the time we find out what all was really going on during this time period. And I can't imagine 50, 60 years from now, people that are in their 20s and 30s looking back going, why didn't they do anything? Because the people that protest and, complain about it, like Limbaugh and others, they're not going to really be in the history books that was going on. I mean, Sean Hannity maybe, but because he's he's on Fox and all that other stuff, but
And isn't it to their advantage, the Hannitys, the Limbaughs, for there to be that conspiratorial doubt out there, because it does create the events that lead people back to them, and therefore they're making money off of all these conspiracies. And
well, yeah, I don't know how much Limbaugh doesn't tend to really go for conspiracies. At least, I mean, I haven't really listened to him in probably 18 years. I mean,
well, what I'm saying is that people will deem it as a conspiracy just because Limbaugh and Hannity say something.
Oh, okay, I've got it the wrong way around. Yeah. That is an easy way. That was this was one of the things that drove me nuts about Alex Jones. Is a lot of the stuff that he was yelling and screaming about, 5, 6, 10 years down the road, we find out is true.
Right. A
lot of it isn't, but because he has to sensationalize, I'm still convinced he meant to get kicked off of YouTube to be a martyr. Because when I forget what that reporter's name, that reporter was minding his own business. He walked up to him, said something, and it's like he didn't have to accost him like that. And I think he was grandstanding.
That big event that somebody threw like a drink at him and all that.
Well, there was something I forget. He was encountering. I know he was trying to get like MS. I forget what I thought that was CNN. They were
chunk yogurt.
Something.
It was chunk yogurt.
And the guy's on his phone just looking at stuff, and he comes up to him and says, hey, and he says, hey, Alex, how you doing? And then he just starts screaming at him. Mm-hmm. And I was like, because I saw the full video in context, and I was like, you don't have to do that. And then he gets kicked off YouTube, and then, made a big deal about it. And I'm like, because he is a theatrical. Okay.
Yeah. He's a bomb thrower.
Right. And I'm like, how much of that was necessary and how much of that was him wanting to get kicked off the platform? Because I think maybe he thought BitChute or something else was going to take off more than it did. But I'm like, but the problem is, if you are kind of on the fence, and especially if you lean slightly away from someone like that, you're going to be like, then they're just all nuts.
Right.
Might as well put the aluminum hat on and believe in UFOs,
Yep.
So
I mean, we tend to lump people together based on certain qualities, or based on our biases. Because you know what? Let me tell people out here in YouTube land, we're all biased, all of
Yeah.
us. I like green. I don't like red. That's a bias. I'm not racist. I'm not prejudicial. I have biases. So therefore, folks that are on the right or the left, call them the extremes, they tend to look at things with a little more, let's just say, a critical eye, whereas folks in the middle tend to look at maybe a little bit more a broader view. What you say, sir?
Mm-hmm.
Come
Well,
on, bring it on. What you got?
I kind
hold on,
I
I got
agree with that.
Yeah.
problems. Keep
That's
talking.
all right. No, where you
You guys
at?
are coming out the wrong speaker.
Being centered. I mean, yeah, I can see. I consider myself more right, but at the same time, I I can identify that there are some things that I just don't care about, and if people want to do them, be my guest.
Right. And that's
You
your
know,
prerogative to feel that way. No one
I
has to tell
I
you have to feel or act or
the
do
the
anything a certain way.
the way I've heard it described is I'm
Right, that's the
financially
one.
conservative and socially liberal. Like the social issues I don't care about. Do what you want to do, but don't bother me.
But who said that that's how you are or described you?
Oh, I just heard it described. Somebody was talking about it, and they described themselves that way, and I was like, you know what? I kind of agree with that,
Okay, okay.
and it's just kind of
I I kind of fell into the right left up down paradigm years and years ago, and I had a good friend of mine. I didn't think this up myself, but
Toby, what do you want?
he says, "You know what? Label yourself, limit yourself." And when I heard that, the light went on. I don't have to label myself any extreme, any group, anything. I can just run the gamut of, you know what? I love Star Wars, or I used to love Star Wars, and that doesn't comport with many of the maybe conservative values. But I do consider myself a free thinker, and it's just how I am. So I may feel different ways about different things.
yeah.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Totally.
Because I used to like Star Wars. My childhood has been ruined.
Yeah, we're back.
Can you
Going back
read-
to that.
It always comes, and a Star Wars is life, and it always comes back to that.
Yeah, yeah, but that's where getting back to what took us down this whole path. Sorry, I was just I had a while you guys were talking, I was having problems. You were coming out my speakers instead of my headphones. But the without meaning to sound conspiratorial, there's depends on what we see happens in January, but a lot of it really feels like there's also an attempt at free speech on YouTube. YouTube has been trying to silence a lot of people for a long time.
Yep.
So we had 3 people listening. Now we only have 1. But because they completely ignore the there's the one of the options that's required is essentially saying you have general audience content, and it may appeal to anybody. And right now, you basically say whether you're for kids or you're not for kids. In the general audience category, which is a vast majority of your large, and I'm talking, 500,000 plus, maybe 1 million plus subs, are general audience.
Okay.
PewDiePie, 150 million. He's pretty much, I mean, he does all kinds of stuff, and some kids, listen to him. But again, what I don't understand is, this is where my conspiracy antenna go up. You have that guy that I put in the thumbnail that's talking about this stuff, and apparently this was back in September, and how much the tracking of kids and all this stuff, and cookies and all this stuff. And unless I'm completely missing the boat on how YouTube tracks stuff, If you don't have an account, it's just general, right? It's just knows that you've been here before, doesn't know who you are, and it talks about personally identifiable information. Okay, PII.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the only way that you specify enough information is if you sign up with her Google account. And usually you have a phone number or something on there so it can send an alert and can verify, especially if you need to unlock your account or change your password or something. Okay, so you could backtrack through that and get a name. You can add it, you can put in any name you want, right? You have to say you're over 13. So by definition of having a trackable account, you meet the Coppa guidelines. I don't understand. This is where I'm like, and I've watched several videos of lawyers who are reading the law and especially what it says and then saying what they're going. It's like, it's so stereotypical of bureaucrats. They're saying one thing, even the law specifically states that is not the case. So that's the part that I feel like I'm absolutely missing something, because if it's general audience, if you go on YouTube with no account, right, you don't log in anywhere, doesn't know who you are. I mean, yeah, we can backtrack the IP address. If you really want to dig into the network package, you can find the MAC address of that's the machine X. I forget what it stands for. It's a hexadecimal number.
Right, the MAC ID.
Right, the MAC ID, and that tells you of the MAC ID of the interface. Really, it's not necessarily the machine. You know, if you've got dual NIC and all this other stuff. So, so I can tell if you're natted. I can get your regular IP address. I can get your outside IP address. I can figure out if I really dig and have access to certain information from your ISP. I can tell what zip code you're in. And but I don't know who you are. I don't know who's using the computer. Now, if I'm the NSA, I can probably look through the camera and tell who's using the computer, but that's different. So that's, but if you sign up for a Google account, unless maybe if you sign up for a Google account and you get on YouTube Kids and then you go to regular YouTube, maybe it does know who you are. Now, I do know part of the problem is these machines, they're doing all these things where they're looking at other cookies and all this other stuff, and I think that's a different issue. But personally identifiable information is your name, your date of birth, social security number, address, phone number. How in the world is that being tracked if you don't have an account? That's what I want to know.
Well, I think it's just basically the access number that allows you to get onto Google and then get onto YouTube, and they have that info. That's just whatever, like a key. Now, for them to get into your house is where you're going to be able, or they're going to be able to get more information, because now you are a YouTube channel or a creator or an artist or whatever. Does that answer that question? I mean, that's where they can get further information, because you're going deeper into the process.
Yeah, but if I'm some 9-year-old cruising YouTube and I'm not logged in, how in the world does it know who I am? I understand cookie trackers, and it can see where you are, and it knows, hey, you went to Amazon and you did a search on X, Y, and Z, and I'm going to show ads like that. And maybe that's part of what they're getting at. But again, that's YouTube that does that, right? That's not when I put up an ad. Yeah, I do a lot of SEO on my videos to get, just to try and get 100 views is part of what I'm after. And I've got one that's almost 1,000 this past week. It's awesome. Mm-hmm. But the wording is about the content of the video, so that keyword searches, my video has a chance to show up. And then I have keywords that I add to it that have the related. Look at some of my videos. I got 3 or 4 paragraphs of text in there. Okay. All meant for getting better search results. But I can't tell unless I'm just don't know, because I'm not big enough channel. And, maybe you have to have 100,000 subs to see some stuff in the analytics. I can go and I can look at the demographics of my viewers. So what their age range is, what country they're from, whether they identify male, female, or whatever.
Right.
Okay. But I can't tell you, I've got a video. It doesn't get as many views now, but I do have a video over 500,000 views. Okay. I cannot tell you how many 9-year-olds watch that video. Okay. I can tell you that it's about 60% men and 40% women. And most of the ages that are in there are Actually, I may give an age range. Maybe I'll look that up while we're talking. I got a dog whining at my knees or feet here. I'm trying to get a hold of my wife who's not paying attention. but anyway, but it really does feel to me like it's now. I know I read some comments on several videos where people were saying the FTC is out of money and it's a money grab. Well, it's definitely a money grab, but I mean, it's a government agency. There's no way that they run out of money. But if they can scare the living crap out of people, because a handful of parents groups were complaining, and I look at it where it's starting from the Attorney General of the state of New York really puts my antenna up too.
Yes,
right.
You know something's up when that's happening.
We have a very so-called liberal Democrat doing this with the FTC going after Google, Google and YouTube. It's like, man, there is more going on here. We may never know, but it really feels like there's more going on here.
Well, when you deal with the Dems, there usually are.
Hey,
Hey, whoa, did I say that? Did I say that out loud?
Well, I don't know.
Put a filter on.
You get some very, some of the religious conservatives do things. But the thing is, back in the 90s, and this was what someone was telling me, hey, the government's trying to take over the internet again. It's like, yeah, when the military dropped control of the internet back in the 90s, and we actually had ads. I remember the internet and the World Wide Web before ads. Okay. They were wanting to, it was free speech. And I worked with a bunch of leftists in the University of Tennessee years ago, and they could not believe that they had to give credit to Newt Gingrich for saving the internet, because their party wanted to do exactly this nonsense they're doing now. Now they're doing it through regulatory actions and lawsuits, and have been over the last 15 years. But there was to clamp down all this. This was before Coppa, and Newt led the vote against it and defeated it in the House of Representatives. And they were grateful, but they were amazed. I'm like, look, not all conservatives or religious conservatives want to censor you. They just don't want to be told that they have to accept you.
Exactly.
Your speech, I should say. Right. And so that's why I wonder if there's an undertone here, but we'll see. I mean, a lot of it's speculation. We have no idea what's going to happen come January. But I have this channel and my channel marked as not for kids, which is why I have the video marked not for children. It's on purpose. So somebody talk while I call my wife.
Appalachian American.
So what's up, Tommy? I see you in the chat, man. Tommy's my homeboy. We been friends for years. Where is he still on here?
I think he
Tommy,
is. He
man,
just said
drop a message, bro.
I think he just put something down there here.
Oh, okay. I see.
So, can you give us a little Tommy and you story? I mean, something that goes by.
Yeah, dude, it's been like let's see, 4 was it? No, it's been 6 years since we all went out for Black Friday, and me and him, like, we would just go around watching people like fight over stuff, fight over like the president of the year.
Yeah, or a $12 toaster.
Yeah, we had no intention of buying things. We literally went to the mall, walked around just to like see people arguing and bicker.
Wow.
But
I mean, and that's something you guys did, was just to go out and people watch and watch the Great Friday fights.
Yeah.
There's another channel I was listening to today. It's another YouTube channel, and the guy, he kind of discusses certain things on American culture and things like that, and he goes, it's funny to see, he's got the broadcaster voice, it's funny to see the latest dunderhead who's probably collecting welfare out there running to get the newest toaster. What has our country become? So I started laughing at that. I saw some folks today. I mean, I had an appointment in the morning, and then I rolled through the Walmart parking lot, and that's always a good place to see the WWF. I'd say not WWF. I'd say the World Walmart Fights.
Trailer
I guess.
Park Generator. Yeah.
There you go. And I'm like, I'm like, let me go take a look at. Man, I was looking at TV or something like that. I think I'll order it online. No, thank you.
Yeah.
Because people were
Yeah, we went to
crazy.
Walmart.
They were going in there at the door, just pushing each other, not caring. And what? Why?
Yeah. We went in last night, and I wanted to get my mom something. I'm not gonna say it because she usually listens to the stream. Haha,
Hi,
got you,
mom.
mom. Uh, and so stood in line, and then once we stood in line, we had a few other things we wanted to pick up. So we went and looked around, and when we got close, we were like, you know what? That's too many people. Let's check out the online part, and we'll see if we can order it there. And so we did, like, because it's just so much people, and I mean, it's not. I go to those things expecting, like, I understand it's going to be a crowd, but then you get like stupid people in a crowd, and it's like, okay, this is more than just a crowd. This is a lot of dumbs that I just
Yeah,
don't want to deal with.
did you just let out the prison bus to come here? I mean,
Right.
that's what it seems like. And yeah, at least at home, unless you open your door and you live next to a maximum security prison, they're not going to come busting through your door to grab your stuff.
Yeah.
So
I'm back, guys. Sorry.
yeah,
Oh.
you okay?
All
You
right.
good?
Yeah, one of the dogs was apparently he wanted some water. My wife well, everybody ignores the dogs but me, so they know how to get my attention. And I went upstairs and it's like, what do you want? And my wife's in the kitchen, which is close to where the dog's water dish is. And the dog that was pestering me walks right over to the water dish and sits down and looks up. And I'm like, duh. But he can't get
Poor doggos.
mom's attention. Yeah. Well, part of it, he's the little one. And so like he'll want to go out, but he'll sit at the back door and he'll just sit there and he won't whine or anything. And then we have this dangling it's bells, like jingle bells type thing. And my son trained, I guess he's a year and a half old now. So he'll ring it. So sometimes he sees Toby sitting over there and he'll go and ring it because it's like, oh, I can go out if I ring this bell.
Hey,
But the other two haven't figured it
don't
out.
dox Toby.
Yeah. Huh?
You just doxed Toby.
Yeah, I know. That's his nickname.
Oh, okay. Very
If you really want to dox him, his real name is Tobuscus. Now there you go.
no.
And if you're familiar with YouTube and know who Tobuscus is, he is named after him.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I'm gonna feel I'm feeling an ankle bite coming there on you. He's gonna take care of you.
So
Thanks, Dad.
it's going to be spicy.
Spicy.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you guys were talking about something spicy.
Well, I think so with all that you were talking about, what's the bottom line? What's taking
the
off
bottom
the
line is control.
conspiratorial hat? What's
The bottom line is control. Okay. Whether it's and that's always what it's about. I mean, it doesn't matter. You have some very left-leaning people running Google and YouTube and others, and we've heard all the things, with James, what's his name? Shoot, I always forget his last name, and all the things about diversity and all that stuff. And it's just ultimately about control. And there's just people that they could be left, they could be right, they could be anything in between, but they feel like it's their God-given right to dictate to others what they can do, and that's the whole point. And so, it's memorable. Well, you guys remember the ad apocalypse on YouTube? What was that? About 2 years ago now, where there were people that were protesting, that got a hold of some of the big advertisers on YouTube and said, you are supporting right-wing Nazis or whatever it was. I don't remember.
And if you don't drop your support, then we're going to
right. And then all of a sudden, ad revenue crashed. I mean, cut in half, and YouTube changed all kinds of. Because I remember some of the YouTube channels I was watching at the time, and there were people that had their income cut 50% just because of the ads that pulled. And now this could be another, depending on, I think the biggest rub in the crotch here is that. And you guys feel free to pepper whatever language you want, just so that, again, and I'm not kidding, so that Google AI picks us up and knows we're not, kid friendly. That Yeah, I mean, what some of them are saying, if you have to mark your videos as some of these, especially this is what I'm talking about, the general audience. The general audience setting is not there, and so things like what's the Dude Perfect and some of these other channels where they do all kinds of stuff that appeal to a wide range of people. They're not targeting kids, right? They're just making entertainment stuff, and sometimes the language. I mean, there's some of them. There's one of them where these guys are watching video games and stuff, and their language is worse than if you're down listening to Longshoremen and the Harbor, and it's like, right. And well, that was actually one of the videos I saw that said that people have started to, like, the first 3 minutes of their videos now, they're just full of obscenities, just so that the Google AI knows that they're not for kids. Because that's the other problem. If you mark your channel saying not for kids, and then the FTC comes along and says, well, this video is, we're declaring this video is marketed to kids, that's 42 grand right there. I mean, that is the authority they're claiming they have. And that will, I mean, I don't have $42,000 just sitting around waiting to be sent to the government.
Or to lawyers.
Or to lawyer. Right.
Yeah.
I can't. I don't have $1 million to fight that plus. And they'll just drag it out. Even if they don't, and I think the more that they say all the saber rattling, because they really don't have a case. I understand part of what they're trying to go after, and I understand the predatory practices of some websites, and I think it's gotten out of hand how they are all looking at each other's cookies, and you're driving home talking to somebody saying, I need a such and such, and you get on Facebook later that night and all you see are ads are for the thing that you talked about, and you haven't even searched for it.
Yeah, that's scary.
Okay. So if that someone, is a 12-year-old saying that, and then they're on Facebook with their friends, and, I don't know. But a lot of it, who knows? But it's not like, BitChute is I don't know if I follow them on Twitter, and they're making a big deal about this, and they do have a general audience category. So this is why when I saw that, and when I heard about that and saw the settings that we have on YouTube, I'm like, why are they, this is why my antenna go up and say, well, why in the world do they not have that? Something else has got to be going on here. It just is just too weird.
So it's just another form of government control. It's just another form of government overreach. And it's just another form of saying, we have you by the nuts. And if you go ahead and cross us, we're going to hit you with 42K.
Right.
Well,
see, again, this is, for the children. There's I forget who it is, but I keep seeing the same comment on every video I watch. And it's supposed to be a Mark Twain quote, and I'm going to look it up while I say it. But it says censorship is telling you can't have steak because a baby can't chew meat, something like that.
Right. Good old Samuel Clemens.
Yeah. So that's why when I saw that, censorship is telling a man he can't have a steak just because a baby can't chew it. But it's unverified. It may also be a version of a line from Robert Heinlein's The Man Who Saw the Moon. The principle of censorship is wrong. I don't care.
Starship Troopers.
I have more appreciation for that movie now that I understand that it's a satirical look at authoritarianism and against it.
Right.
I forget
I don't think we realize. I know I didn't realize it when it first came out. I thought it was, it's great, got a lot of blood and guts and explosions. Then I look at the meaning behind it, and it's like, oh, that's satirizing, like you said.
Yeah, it was some video I saw. I came across something in the last couple of years about it, and I was because to me it was just kind of a campy, goofy movie, and because even you have. The bugs are censored, and then some of the blood kind of gets gratuitous. It's almost like watching a Quentin Tarantino movie, and and then I'm like, and then I saw that and I was like, oh, because it was more about, because apparently it was based on a short story, and some of that was missed, and then in some of the sequels, I think they went away from that too. But I was like, oh, that's now I get all that. Now that all that makes sense.
Yep.
So
and my buddy was in that. Jake Busey. I met him at the premiere of the film U571
Mm.
out in Hollywood. I was out there photographing it, and I'm like, what is Jake Busey doing here? He's not in the movie. Well, he lives about 15 minutes down the road, so he kind of just shows up. But
Right.
great guy, by the way, wonderful guy.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were going to keep talking.
Oh, sorry.
I was just like, okay.
Not a pregnant pause, but
Yeah, you started a story. I'm like, okay, go back to it.
Oh, no, no, okay. Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
You've been
I don't
taking
wanna-
notes from Appalachian America. He just stops mid sentence.
No, I just finished what I need to say, and
I know.
He's a man of few words.
yeah.
And those few, he will just stop in the middle of the road.
But no, I met him. He was out there. We met the cast. Bill Paxton was really a fun guy. Kind of threw it back. This is when I was in the military, so we're all in uniform. And I remember telling Bill Paxton, I said, "Hey man, you die in all your movies." And he goes, "What? No, I don't." And I said, "Yeah, you die in this." And I started naming off films, and he goes, "Oh, I guess I do. Yeah, you're right."
He didn't die in
Well-
Weird Science though.
Well, there's a couple movies he didn't die, but I named off the ones that he did, and it was
Right.
I think it was like 4.
I thought he blew up in Weird Science.
No, he just became the
He just
Chet,
becomes
Pizza
the
the Hut.
the big blob.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Chet.
Yeah.
Chet.
Yeah, I thought he exploded.
It's a Pershing missile, Chet. The guy who really did not want to give anyone any love was Harvey Keitel. Because I went there with a bunch of other sailors, and they wanted to get like autographs and stuff. And when we approached him, he's like, "Nope, not doing it. Not gonna do it." And we're like, "What a jerk, man!" It's like, you ain't Marlon Brando, So so the cast was real good, and the best one, because to this day I'm still a fanboy of Matt McConaughey. He was having his drinky. He was at the bar, and of course, a bunch of my buddies were like, "Hey, go and ask him for a, tell him that we want an autograph." So I walk up to him and I go, "Hey, Matt, some of these guys want to get an autograph from you," and we're all in uniform, so it's kind of like a give back to the troops type thing. And he goes, "Hang on, man, hang on," and he just put his hand up, and I said, "Matt, these guys are waiting." He goes, hang on. And he gets a little drink, puts it down, and he's like, "All right," and kind of did his hands, kind of scrubbed his hands type thing. And then he just signed everything that these guys gave him, little posters and stuff like that. So he was pretty neat. And this came after his bongo drum incident. You remember that, when he was at home in Austin, Texas, and he decided to smoke a little wacky weed and drink and go out and play bongo drums naked, I believe, in his front yard or at a party that he was at. Yeah. So anyway, I'm done. I just stopped.
And hand it back over.
And
Back to you, Brett.
And back to you in the booth, Bob.
Yeah.
Back to the studio. And on that bombshell, good night, everybody. Yeah. There's a show we don't talk about much. The Grand Tour, or Top Gear. The good Top Gear, not the post Three Amigos Top Gear.
Didn't they have a little controversy to break up the team?
Recently?
No, this was back in the day when it was who was the guy, the older guy that got in trouble for some.
Well, he punched a producer.
Oh, my man. I thought it was one of these Me Too things.
No, not well. I don't know about that, but he got angry with a producer. I forget over what, and he got reprimanded. And then, like a week later, he did it again. And yeah, Jeremy. So, or Jezer as he goes by. What is his last name? But basically, they didn't renew his contract. So his contract was up for renewal, and during the between seasons, or series, as they say, and they decided not to renew it. And the other two, looked at it and said, "Okay, what can we do?" And we quit. So, and the Grand Tour has been, although this coming season they're not doing the stuff in the tent. So, but Amazon, it's been pretty good on Amazon. It's like about the only reason. Well, I had Prime and I kept it because of that, and then the Tick came on, and it took me a bit to get used to it from what Patrick Warburton did, and then now they canceled that. It's like, you morons. Netflix is the same way. Any show I like, they cancel.
All
the shows
Marvel.
that I cannot stand, they're like in their 19th season. It's like, really?
Yeah, that's why I dropped it. I dropped it here about 2 months ago. I said, nope, I'm not going to get Netflix anymore.
Yeah. Well, speaking of, let me see. What's her name? Somebody was mentioned in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And I actually liked that for a few seasons, and then it got stupid. But I want to see if it's just me. I gotta look up, because she's in what's that? The better Star Trek. It's not Star Trek.
Oh, you're talking about Bobby. What's her name? Oh, she's a hottie. Yeah, the agent that.
Yeah, Adriana. I guess it's Adrienne Palicki. So
yes,
okay,
Adrienne Palicki. Yes.
All right. So I'm gonna. These two not okay. To me, these two not only look alike. Now she's American, and then you have Yvonne Strahovski, who was on Chuck, and these two.
And she was on Dexter.
Yeah. I don't know if I can share that. Those two not only look alike to me, they sound the same. But yeah, Adrienne Palicki and Yvonne Strahovski, they sound so. I mean, because now obviously Yvonne is speaking with an accent since she's Australian, American accent, but those two sound alike to me.
So they both have doppelgangers.
Who?
I think they are each other. Yeah, they are each other.
They are each other's doppelganger.
I'm trying to figure out how to. Let's see. Can I don't want to share screen. Ooh, maybe I can. Can I do more than one? You guys see that?
Was that like computer processing sound?
Yeah. Well, yeah. So I didn't even see if I did a safe search either. So
your last searches are coming up.
Yeah. So there's Adrienne, I guess, and then Yvonne. But
yeah,
they look alike to me. Plus, when you on video, which I can't share properly, and I don't want to get struck. That happened. Who was it that was? I think it was Pete or Etep Wakuian was saying in one of the Facebook pages I'm in. He had something on his Batwoman thing was struck by a WB. I had a video. I wonder if I can find it really quickly. That was a Captain Marvel video that had talked about the Captain Marvel I grew up with, also known as Shazam.
Shazam, exactly. Yeah.
There was a let's see, which one was that? Chicken butt. I think it was this one. I'm not sure, but anyway, there was a little on the article I was reading. There was a link. This is not it. There was a link to the they had the introduction to the TV show from the 70s. Okay. And I played a little bit of it, and I did talk. It had nothing to do with what I was doing. And here it is. It's this one. Dun, dun, dun. Because a part of it was a Who Owns Captain Marvel. Do I get? All right. Dagnabbit. I saw it in the thumbnail. Where'd it go? Just as I clicked, one of the dogs bumped me. But anyway, let's see if I can. I'm going to share this, and that way people are like, "What's he talking about? What the hell?" Old man late, he's doing it again. So this video here, and yeah, 40 whole views. Thank you very much. Oh my God, Lapizanus. What? Again. So anyway, somewhere in here.
Is that your mega fan, Lapizanus?
Yeah,
Nice.
my something. Oh, there it is. That I played that.
Oh, I remember
Okay.
that.
Yeah, I remember this show too. I mean,
Yes.
when I heard Captain Marvel, I was like, Shazam's going to be on, and then
Right.
I for some reason I didn't know there was. I knew there was a Miss Marvel, but so I played a little bit of the introduction. Now there's no audio; it's only video, and I don't remember how long it was 10, 15 seconds probably, which was it maybe because I remember saying I better stop that so it doesn't go too long. The Google algorithm with WB's signature found that within seconds of me uploading it. I haven't even published it yet. I was still working on the SEO for it, and it said I got an email that told me that I had. It's not a copyright strike; it's basically a claim. So any money that you would make from it goes to them. So I was like, stopped what I was doing, deleted the video, cut that out because it was unimportant, and then reprocessed it and re-uploaded it, and I didn't have that problem. So, and one of the dogs.
I
has
am
got stuff.
convinced that there are folks out there like YouTube snipers that are working real time and just scrubbing like you would a video editing timeline of anything that's happening, or maybe have those little small 1x1 picture in picture on their computer, and they're looking for people to burn.
Yeah, just scanning,
Yeah.
constantly rolling.
Grande hermano se estás mirando. And that means Big Brother is watching.
What's that chick's name? Susan Wachowski or whatever. The YouTube, crap.
Oh,
the head of
CEO,
YouTube.
the
Yeah.
president.
Hi.
I was on the phone the other night with my buddy who's, old Navy buddy of mine, and we were getting into some really like intense political and life stuff and, remembering things. And I go, oh, hey, hang on a second. Hey, guys, are you listening to this? Is this exciting during the overnight watch? Well, have fun. You can keep listening to us. And he just bust out laughing because they're listening all the time. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm going to have a little bell that goes, bing, I'm done.
Well,
Because it's like you guys are waiting for me to say
I'll
something
need that,
else.
yeah.
well, it's the rhythm. We don't have a rhythm. I'm trying to. One of the dogs has gotten something. I don't know what he's got. That's why I was slow.
Is it your heel?
No,
Does he got your heel in his
he
mouth?
got in the
You
trash.
doxed him?
Hopefully, it's only the trash.
Okay. No chicken. No turkey bones in there. Don't let him get the chili you made, because both you guys will be down for the count.
What did
Yeah.
Cousin Eddie say? Well, maybe Ed, if you didn't eat from the table. Oh no, he didn't eat from the table. He's probably just rooting around in your garbage.
Yep. So, what else are we going to talk?
Yeah,
I mean,
keep talking.
how you feeling, bro? You feeling better? You feeling good?
Yeah, no, I'm feeling fine. I don't
Okay.
think I'm going to get that. Well, I might get that the bourbon barrel aged double IPA out of the refrigerator that I poured.
Montezuma's Revenge coming up. We have any topics on our wonderful subject of Star Wars?
Man,
If I got one if we want to hear it.
shoot.
And it's interesting because I don't know if I can categorize it in the column of fake news, because it's kind of something positive that Disney did. So I don't know. Here it goes. New York Post. Disney lets dying fans see Rise of Skywalker before it's too late. Apparently, a terminal hospice patient was dying, and his dying wish was to see the upcoming Star Wars Rise of Skywalker sequel with his son ahead of the film's projected December 20th release date. We will see his dream come true, Disney confirmed on Thanksgiving. Sadly, it's not time. Time is not on his hand, or time is not on his side. Sorry, for the December 20th release, and his wish is to see the final Star Wars film with his young son. And apparently, Disney CEO and all the other folks decided to go to at the hospice place and show the film for this dying person. And it was the response from everyone, including the Star Wars community, has been absolutely phenomenal over the last few years. Quote, Davies continued, some guy. So a massive thank you to every single person that has shared our post and given their time to help make this possible. So apparently this guy got to see the Rise of Skywalker before he passes. Here's my comment on that. He saw a whole bunch of what? Unrendered effects?
Right.
And choppy story. Which ending did he get? That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
He got the clue ending where he can select. That's the only way they're going to have a movie that appeals to everyone. This is a choose your own adventure. And they have to do it by theater. So you're going to have to go, if you tend to like this, go to this theater. If
you're going to have to go to different parts of the country to see the different endings. Oh, is that incredible?
All right. I'm going to try and drink my beer now.
Oh, man.
So if I suddenly go quiet, I'm running up the steps.
So what do y'all think about that?
Yeah, I'm along the lines.
So I heard part of it. When are they supposed to show it to him? Or did they already?
I believe they already showed it to him on Thanksgiving.
Okay. Did it kill him?
And okay, here's part 2 of what I would say. On December 20th, I believe they're going to have ambulances standing by each regional area, each regional theater, to collect the dead bodies after the film ends of people that went to go see it opening night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, Megatron 95. Yes, Yvonne was in Chuck. Or did I miss that? That was 10 minutes ago. Sorry.
Yeah,
I'm not feeling well. I'm sorry. Yeah. Yeah, I'm changing jobs Monday, and I got to make sure I can still be, I'm supposed to be the driver for WCBS. So for that, we're seeing it Thursday night, whatever day that is.
Okay.
Although I'm hoping it's not a 3D IMAX. I might puke. And not because the movie's bad. Oh, Kwanzaa starts the 26th too. Yeah, I think it's the 19th.
Happy Kwanzaa.
We at the Fan Caste wish you a happy Kwanzaa.
Yeah. So I don't know, and I'll drop them off. I probably, maybe I'll go home and I'll just live stream or something. I don't know.
Wait. Are you the DD for the night, but you're not going to see the movie?
No, I'm going to see the movie, and then I'm going to drive them back to their. They have a bed and breakfast that they're doing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it would go great with that beer. Hey, it's Eric Ward. Yeah, this is a bourbon barrel aged humalumpa, humongous. I don't know. It's Shorts Brewing. I forget what it is. It's actually pretty good, but it's been in the refrigerator because I poured it almost 2 hours ago. And then when I had my episode, I asked them to put it back in the refrigerator. Now it's got to breathe out all of the crap it breathed in when it was sitting in the refrigerator. And if you don't know beer, that will make no sense whatsoever, but it is true. Nope.
So you had an episode 9? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. All right. Just want to make sure.
I absolutely did. But yeah, that's see now we need Eric on here so he can tell us how much he loves Kathleen Kennedy, and that'll definitely get us tagged as not kid friendly.
Well, I can up that challenge and just say that I think KK or Cray KK is kind of a hottie.
Oh, okay.
And the stuff I'd like to do with her on a date.
That'll definitely make it that we're not for children.
Yeah, you gotta be
Right.
careful though.
All I'm saying is there's something about her.
I'm an idiot.
Yeah, don't forget her middle name starts with K as well.
Right.
Candace, right? Isn't it Kathleen Candace Kennedy? Something like that. It was one of these things. I'm not saying I had anything to do with it, but I wondered what her middle name was, and this is a good while ago, year maybe more, and found out that I thought it was Candace. Anyway, it started with a K, and then that's why I started calling her that. And then it was amazing. Like 3 days later, every search I did on Google, nothing had her middle name or initial.
Exactly, because I looked it up when WCBS was like bringing it up, and I think it was just KK or KLK or something, but nothing showed the middle name.
Yeah, but
Nice,
there you go,
Eric.
Eric.
But
My
yeah.
sentiments exactly.
With Bobbits, because that was kind of stolen
Well,
and thrown in a bush.
yeah, I
like
guess
thrown.
you could,
Yeah, that's weird.
yeah, I guess you could say that was stolen.
It was stolen when he got married and when he got cut and got
Yeah,
a divorce. Anyway, so
yeah. Appalachian, you know what we're talking about?
No.
John Wayne Bobbitt.
Mm-mm.
is this you? Is this John Wayne Bobbitt?
How long were they married? Basically, this was the beginning of the women who believed that all heterosexual sex is rape from a man, even if you're married.
Yeah, that
And
was kind of the precursor, but it didn't
Yeah.
really catch on there.
Yeah.
I
she
think
basically
used that as
they
an
did it,
example.
and he was sleeping, and she cut it off, and then she went driving somewhere and threw it out the window. And then someone saw it and then found it, and didn't they put it? They reattached it, I think, didn't they? Or
They did
something.
reattach it.
And then wasn't he in a porno or something
And
after
then
that?
he became
Yeah.
a porn star, probably a level, or for the D team or something. He wasn't A-list. He wasn't an A-lister. And, he could kind of go around corners was his big thing. And,
John
but,
Wayne.
he didn't last long.
And we're not making any of this up.
No, there's a kernel of truth in this.
We may have misremembered some of the facts, but we didn't make any of that up.
Not at all.
And
he, this was this
here's the Wikipedia page. You guys trust Wikipedia, right?
This added insult to injury. He was a United States Marine Corps.
Oh yeah, he was.
Where did he learn to beat women? In the Marine Corps.
That's a Lance Corporal, isn't he?
Yeah, he did. I mean,
isn't one chevron and then the cross rifles? Is that PFC? No, it's PFC, isn't it? Is that Lance Corporal?
No, one. It's Lance Corporal, because then 2 chevrons is a corporal.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. See.
So
here I'll share this image.
And his name was John Wayne. So I think that really was the beginning of destabilizing of the male culture in America, because he was a Marine. He married a Colombian woman. And that's why I say they've got fire and a temper, and because, that Latin blood, she took it to a new level.
She isn't that bad looking either, from what I remember.
She wasn't. Since then.
But don't stick it in crazy, and that's why.
Right. Cray will always follow you and throw it out the window. She'll cut you, Mick. Hey, Mick, why don't you cut me, Mick?
Yeah.
Appalachian, what are you doing, bro?
I'm
Talk to
sitting
us.
here, surprised by why they used Jeremy Irons to be Alfred in Batman v Superman.
I know.
Because it looks like that they're at the least best friends. They could be gay. I don't know.
What are you talking about?
Wasn't he Hans Gruber's brother?
I don't know.
In Die Hard 4?
3.
Okay, that's right.
4 that's when they went downhill they just got worse.
Right.
3 I think was the best one. I like
that when Bruce Willis had to wear that big sandwich board?
Yes.
Oh, that shocked a lot.
Samuel L. Jackson, and yeah, I like it. I like it. It has a point, kind of both ways. But one of my favorite scenes in that lines, I guess, is when he's talking and he says that he says he's a racist. He says that Samuel L. Jackson's character is a racist. And how am I a racist? He says, I'm. What does he say? I'm. You don't like me because I'm white. And he says, I don't like you because you're going to get me killed.
That's right. Yeah. 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 There's no race about it. You're just dangerous.
It's like
Reckless.
people doing a lot of shooting around you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking up the NC. Oh my gosh. I just want to look at the image. No, it's too small. Because I was thinking that the Marine Corps has it slightly different than the Army, where the PFC. Because I think the Marine Corps, what as a PFC in the Army, is a Lance Corporal in the Marine Corps.
I believe a PFC in the Marines is just the chevron.
Right, I think it's an E2 as opposed to E3. So, because an E4 would be corporal and E5 is sergeant
Right.
in the Army.
Right. And that's the same in the Marine Corps.
Yep.
Yep.
And then in the Marine Corps, they use an extra rocker for master sergeant or sergeant major. Yeah, one of those two. And then the Navy they just screw it all up with.
Oh, I know.
They got like 7,500 ranks or something. They got because you basically
no, that's uniform. 7,500 uniforms.
Yeah, because you get your rank is based on your job and a bunch of other stuff until you until you're master chief or something. And then in the Air Force, the country club, by the time you're in E7 or E8, you've got so much stuff it goes all the way down your elbow. You got rockers and chevrons and stars and blah blah blah.
Listen up, Kronar. You know what Kronar? You know what 3 up and 3 down is? The end of an inning. Do you remember that?
I don't know. No. That sounds like Sergeant First Class, but I don't know.
Yeah, but it was the Robin Williams movie where he was an Air Force broadcaster.
Oh, Good Morning Vietnam.
Good Morning Vietnam, and the guy was basically dressing him down, and he goes, "Do you know what 3 up and 3 down is?" And he's basically pointing his sleeve, and then Robin Williams goes, "The end of an inning."
That's funny. I saw that movie once, I think.
So did I. That's why it was difficult for me to recall. So
yeah.
But I'll tell you what, Robin Williams, a national treasure.
Yeah.
He was lost. He was taken away too early.
Yep. So anyway.
Star Wars.
See, so
how do we do? What in the wide world of sports happened to Star Wars?
Well, the Mandalorian's happening. Isn't it supposed to be like going to save the whole franchise now?
You want to hear my take on it?
Yeah, that's why you're here.
Oh. Sully, remember when I was going to kill you last? I lied. I think the Mandalorian, because it was given to the right folks, to Filoni, Dave Filoni, right? Dave Filoni, and who's the other guy? Happy. What's his name? The writer, the director. No, not Happy.
Favreau.
Oh, Feige.
No, the one who directed Iron Man.
Jon Favreau.
Jon Favreau. Okay, that team got together and they put in, and not just fan service. I mean, because there's a little bit of that going on, but they put together a story that they really remembering back to when they saw A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. I think there's some of those elements in there. So that team right there is, I think, the team that needs to be the genesis of selecting the new writers and the directors, and Dave Filoni needs to be the new Lucasfilm president, and just move forward with that type of look and feel, because they are qualified. KK, not qualified. And that's why she took the Star Wars franchise and flushed it down the toilet. So if we have Filoni and Favreau and other acolytes that believe as they do, even who's Marvel head, the head of Marvel,
Feige.
Feige, yes, he wanted to do a Star Wars film, but Bob Iger said the two shall not mix. They shouldn't, that Marvel can't come over into the Star Wars realm, and then Star Wars can't go to the Marvel realm. But get rid of Cray Cray, and I think the folks that were polarized should come back. And Mandalorian, I think, is the first step in that. That is all.
Yeah.
What
See,
do you-
I think Kathleen did what she wanted and executed it brilliantly. I think it was all on purpose. I just think she had no idea people were not going to go for it, and that was where she made her mistake. But she's been waiting for 20 years to get back at George Lucas, and she finally did it.
And by default, Spielberg, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Absolutely.
She filed a harassment suit against him back
Who?
in the day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when she was like an underling, and I don't know if it was Jaws or no, it was E.T. That there wasn't enough like representation, female representation, and went to the head of, was it Paramount at the time, and dusted enough, brought up too much, enough dust to kind of tarnish Spielberg, and he just started like backpedaling. Okay, you can be the accountant and the executive producer and assistant producer, and just that's how she started her meteoric rise.
It may be.
Let me see if I can find that information.
All right. While he's looking, I guess I can talk because, no one else will. I haven't watched Shazam. My son saw it, I think.
It's
He
really
liked it.
good.
Yeah, I just been too lazy. So somebody posted, Dayton Pfeiffer posted the official WCBS fan page. It's got Leia Poppins, and then it shows Finn. They fly now. I saw that clip, and I was like, well, for starters, that looked really stupid. When it launches, they would just launch off the back. They don't have to have it flip them up too. And I'm like, why wouldn't they fly? We had that in the prequels.
Yeah.
We had it in '83, although Boba Fett just flew into the barge. But
that was bad. Oh, it was terrible.
I was disappointed that he died so easily.
Yeah.
It's like,
So senselessly.
Yeah. It was on accident.
Yeah.
Oops.
Boba Fett, where? And he died.
This is Christopher Baca was one who did that. Christopher Baca shared the dying Star Wars fan to get early screening. Dun, dun, dun. And Scott, see, this is more or less the same question I asked. Scott David Murphy said that surely will kill them, no doubt about it. Bob Vance, poor bastard. Did this person just want to end it all that badly?
I'm in a lot of pain. Bring in episode 9. Take me out now.
Probably was yeah. Well, yeah. They do this every movie. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, that's the thing. So we're gonna have Leia. We had Leia Poppins. Now we're gonna have Rhea Poppins and this one.
Wow.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome for me showing that picture. Yeah, the Force is female. That was that was who was that? Nike, I think.
Said it was Nike, but I'm sure she probably had it made.
Oh yeah. It's like anyway, what the heck? Ian Reed posted something else. This looks so fake. I can't even tell. Wow. Any other topics?
Well, I was doing my search here, and it was like there's a little thing that says, like, you do the search, and then it gives you the little, the link, and then it says, people also ask, what is Kathleen Kennedy's job? Well,
To destroy
I'm
Star
asking
Wars.
that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, she called out Spielberg, and it's coming up here. It's on the playlist, the website. Do you want me to link it, or
Yeah.
unacceptable behavior on the set of E.T.? She called him out. Let me
Wow.
drop that in there. See if I can do that. Let's see. All right, paste. Boom. Did that go through? No.
Put it in the private chat, or did you put it in the private chat? I
Yeah.
see something in the private chat. Yeah, I see it there. I can share that.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, since you can approve it, so I'm not throwing a porn link, an EVS porn link.
This better be pie.
This better be pie. So what is EVS doing these days?
I finally got a message from that whichever of his cyber frog things that I think it was the first one, saying that some of the ash cans were finally in. So, because I still don't have my comic.
It hasn't shown up yet.
Mm-mm.
Oh, see, mine just showed up last week. But before that, I mean, for the last month, I was like, dude, I'd go on his show. Dude, where's my comic? That's great. Where's my comic?
Yeah.
Why are you streaming? Where's my comic?
Yeah.
Right. I'm still wondering where Stealing Solo is.
Yeah. Did that finish? I mean, I remember I haven't listened in a while, but I remember and the stuff behind they were talking about it, but I couldn't tell if it was, he had just a proof of the thing. Sorry, with his changes and everything, or if it was finally shipping.
Mm-hmm.
The last I heard, I guess it was 2 or 3 weeks ago when Jeff was driving some long drive he was doing, I believe,
going to Chicago.
Chicago, right? And I,
Milwaukee.
Milwaukee, which means, was it beautiful land or sacred land?
Algonquin for the good land. Yeah.
Right, the good land. That's it. And so I sent him a little, like a little chat thing, and he says it's done and it's to the printers, and he should be receiving it within the next week or two. So.
Yeah.
I cut him a little slack on, because he kind of started after EVS, and this is the first one he's done, so maybe he's not as savvy as like EVS would be with the process, but
right.
Again, they're fantastic. The comic I saw was fantastic. It was great. I finally got it, but boy, there I was like, dude. Yeah. This better not be a pyramid scheme. This better not be porn.
Well, it was a year late. I didn't realize it was a year late. Yeah. What was it wasn't GoFundMe. What was the site that they used? Indiegogo.
I believe it was supposed to be before Christmas of last year. So if in the totality, it took a year.
Well, February was supposed to be Jeff's
you're
comic.
talking about Cyberfrog. My bad.
Cyberfrog, yeah. So in the totality, get it by Christmas, the whole process will have been a year, if I'm correct.
Yeah. So I did the original campaign. I'm supposed to get the comic book, the ash can, and the head sketch.
Yes.
Estimated delivery November 2018. I don't even have like stickers or nothing. And I donated at the $110 level. So
whoa,
$100 level.
Daddy Warbucks.
And I don't have jack autocrat.
Left. You don't have a pot to piss in left for that.
Unless they mailed it to the wrong. I mean, it's got my correct mailing address here. I'm supposed to get a signed copy of the comic book with a small hand-drawn head sketch of Cyberfrog on the cover and a black and white Cyberfrog 1998 ash can mailed to you in a rigid protective mailer. And now that's what I got an email from saying that those had come in. So it's probably maybe why, since that all supposed to be bundled together.
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
What I ordered was all bundled together. It didn't come.
I don't know if this is the
separate.
number, but my contributor ID is 184. So that was fairly,
Yeah, you were way up there.
yep. So very early. That
You
was
were
the
like
original
a plank
campaign.
owner.
Yeah. And then he did a bunch of other stuff, several other campaigns since then. I don't think he likes me, so he's probably going to just spit on him or something. I don't know. Somehow I feel like I annoyed him in Chicago. I don't really know how, but I didn't mean to. So.
Well, let's talk about that. I mean, are you lying down? You want to talk about it?
It doesn't bother me that much, but
yeah. It's like no, dude.
well,
I don't even know you.
There were what? 10 of us? How many were of us in that Chinese restaurant? 9, 10? I don't know. At least 10 of us, I think. I'm trying to do the math. Let's see, 3. So we had 9 of us, at least 9 of us. So, and he picked up the tab, and I was like, how do I say, I was like, I thanked him. But I also wanted to let him know that I did support Cyberfrog without sounding like I was being a sycophant.
Mhm.
Maybe I came across wrong, but, and then we all piled into Nick's, that's the infamous video that I would love to see, but it's probably, there were 9 of us crammed in there, Kendo and Anna and Jesse in the way back, and
Yeah, in the big old van.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was a SUV. It's a Highlander,
Okay.
and then Dion, myself, and EVS in the middle, and then Andy from the UK, basically in Dion's lap and in my face. He basically was standing, but he was short enough that he stood up and just kind of bent over, and then Nick and Jeff in the front, and we had 1 mile to go, and it was once Nick got out of the parking lot, it was straight, and we hit all the lights green, and we swung around in their hotel, and then piling out was fun. I mean, it was the hardest I've laughed in years. It was great fun. It was awesome.
Wow.
EVS was, and then people were, when Jeff was doing the video, and people are, leaving comments like, I'm very disturbed that Channel Dad's crushing EVS.
Give him room. He still has to finish Cyberfrog.
Right. It's like, I'm not crushing him. It just looks that way. But
Yeah.
that was great fun. And then the way Dion was just screaming the whole time, that was hilarious. But that was a pretty good Chinese restaurant. We had been there the night before. I think it was the night before. Was it 2 nights before? Yeah, I think it was Thursday night, and that was when we met up with Jesse and Anna, and we started bar crawling, and Jesse decided she wanted to trying to keep up with Jeff. That was a mistake. Oh, Fatal J. Hey, how's it going, man? Looks like you're having some good channel growth. At least the last time I checked out, your channel looked like it was going pretty well.
Yeah, I threw out some, like, hey, come and hang out, but none of my people have shown up, so
Yeah.
they will. They'll hear about it tomorrow.
Fatal J, 1,100 subscribers. Awesome.
So,
I am subscribed, but that was, and then so they come home. We were like 30 minutes out of Chicago, okay, and they did a live stream, and then I was about falling asleep, and Nick's like, "Hey, Leap, you got to drive Jesse and Anna back," and it was like midnight because they had all been drinking. I was like,
was that in the hotel room? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Or is it in the car? No.
Well, the live stream was in the hotel room that Thursday night show.
I saw that. Yes.
I mean, I show up briefly, but I was.
Yeah, you're in the back. Yeah,
I was tired, and you can really see how short Anna is standing next to her. That was the problem. It's like, how do I, and she's in both of my. I made 2 fan trailer type videos for Star Wars Celebration. She's in both of them. She was always drawing. Every time I'd run into her, she was drawing stuff. But yeah, it was a good time. It was a good time.
Good times.
But I got back about, I want to say 3:30, 2:30, something like that. I mean, here's the they were in a hotel near Midway Airport. Okay.
Mhm.
So I had to drive all the way around the south end of Chicago. And then at 1:30 in the morning, because Nick's car was almost out of gas, I'm at this, it's an auto only station, the only one I could find. So you have to swipe and then the pumps work. And it was like at 1:30 in the morning, I'm like, just looking for, I was apparently in the Hispanic part of town because I don't know, whatever street I was on, every sign was in Spanish.
Orale way. Hey, so was that, you said you were by yourself when you were driving out there in Southside?
Yeah, 1:30 in the morning, pumping, old white man pumping gas in South Side of Chicago.
Wait. So you were out there, did you have a red mega hat on and a bottle of bleach?
In a new store.
And then, wait.
I was there after
And
all that, you clown.
And a clothesline? Yeah,
You clown.
clothesline board that you, yeah.
That's not funny.
Of course. You know what? Of course you weren't there.
But but it was a good time. So it was the craziest thing is that Sunday when it snowed. So
Then you pulled out the bleach.
no, it snowed like 5 inches. It was crazy.
Dang.
So, but anyway, I'm looking forward to Star Wars episode 9. Going with and apparently there's still tickets available even for the opening. As I told Nick, I said, look, I look at it one of two ways. Either the movie's going to be good somehow, some way, and it'll be mildly entertaining, and I'll be like, kind of like The Force Awakens, where I was mildly entertained, and then I went,
Right.
what the WTF at the end of it?
Right.
You can ask my son. Heck, you can just go watch my video the day I saw it. I was like, what in the world did I just watch? Or it's going to be an absolute crap fest, which I think it will be, and I'll be watching the audience because they're going to be entertaining. So I figure I'm going to get some kind of entertainment either way. Although I did tell Jeff, I said, look, I am not sitting anywhere within grabbing distance of you, because if you get pissed and want to throw someone at the screen, I don't want it to be me.
Did he really do that in The Force Awakens?
I don't know.
No, I
throw
thought
something?
he was. No, I thought he was with Kendo. No, did they see it together? He said he grabbed someone like mid-movie and said, "This is like a bunch of crap."
No, I don't remember that. There was a guy, I thought it was after Last Jedi, where he was saying, he was mumbling something about the horses, and somebody behind him was kind of passive aggressive, poking the bear, as it were, about animal rights, and said something like, "Boy, what do you don't like animals or something?" And he turned around and said, "Are you talking to me or whatever?"
Yeah, shut your hole or something like that.
Yeah, and the guy kind of was. Yeah, I mean, we're about to say he's a little bit taller, but not by much, but he's a much bigger dude. So
I'm surprised he didn't stand up and go, "Hogan,
oh,
I'm gonna
there's
snap you like a chicken neck, Hogan."
Yeah. I completely, I should have known Eric Ward was going to talk about Leanne Macaboob, because he always does.
Do tell.
That's why she was in the Hall of Fame for one episode, just for him. There you go, Eric. Now you know my secrets.
Do we have any time? Or are you starting to wind down here? Because I have a
No,
something
go
that's
ahead.
really been kind of like gnawing at me here. Have you all seen the series on Prime, The Boys?
Yes.
What happened in that?
Huh?
Is this the
I mean,
superhero
what?
show?
Yes.
I started watching it and I couldn't take it. After about
No.
4 episodes, I was like,
No,
God, I hate
Channel
it.
Dad, you've got to watch it.
Oh no. Okay.
It's friggin' awesome.
Okay, you're Channel Dad. I guess I'm like Channel Gramps or something, because there's a big difference.
Uncle.
But
Your
yeah,
channel
your Channel
uncle.
Uncle. Okay, so Channel Dad, you really need to watch this.
Yeah.
It's a little slow. I guess if you saw 2 episodes, Brian.
Yeah, somewhere after she was forced to do whatever in the bathroom, somewhere after that, I was like,
I
I
looked at
couldn't.
the first episode, man.
Is it?
first
No,
episode.
I got a couple episodes, 2 or 3 episodes. No, well, let's see. There was the one where I don't know if they killed the Invisible Man or injured him. They threw him in the back trunk of the car.
Okay.
And there was a guy that was trying to expose what was going on.
Right.
That's literally the end of episode 1.
Yeah,
No,
and
it isn't.
Yes,
It's
it
literally
really is.
no.
Well, Billy
Yeah.
Butcher is the one trying to expose the soups.
Yeah.
His name is Billy Butcher.
I thought that was a several
that's
episode
the end of
thing.
episode 1.
Well,
So
maybe
you
I need
might
to
have
start
gotten
over.
to episode 2 because
Nah.
that's where they try to get rid of the guy, translucent. Translucent does not mean invisible. It's like semi-transparent. The whole thing is just like a goof on superheroes, but then it turns real dark.
Yeah.
So I would, as channel uncle.
Well, apparently you guys are correct because it has me continue watching episode 2.
Well, okay, you brought it up. You're like, huh. No.
Wow.
Get
that happens in
past-
the first episode.
Yeah.
I was like, because to me it was just like all guys are scumbags, and I couldn't take it anymore.
I don't think it'll ruin your childhood for DC because it mostly pokes fun at DC because I think those guys are supposed to be like doppelgangers of the DC community, but you got to get through episode 2. Oh my god, and then it just gets better from there.
Yeah.
It's world building in the first 2 episodes.
All right. Well, isn't it Keith Urban that plays the guy that's
Butcher.
Carl Urban.
Carl Urban? Yeah.
And
Keith
you
Urban's
know
the
what?
singer
He's
in it.
usually played a secondary or supporting role in a lot, except for Dread. This one, he carries the film.
All right.
And some of the lines that he comes up with, I mean, as history will prove in the next several years, you can steal lines from this and it'll still be relevant in the pop culture because some of the dialogue is incredibly funny and incredibly relevant to what's going on.
Did you hear about the deleted scene that Amazon made them take it out?
I didn't hear that.
All right. So, do you remember when the Homelander was getting like fussed at for doing something and he kind of like pouted and walked off? By the lady that was in charge?
Madeline.
Something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, he was supposed to have left and went to he was standing on top. What is the building in New York that has the eagles on all 4 corners? You know which one?
Empire State Building?
No, it's the one that Will Smith jumped off in Men in Black 3 to do the time jump. There's about 3/4 of the way up. There's 4 eagles that are kind of perched out on the.
Kind of like instead of gargoyles in France, it's eagles.
Yeah.
Is that the Chrysler Building or is that in Chicago?
I think it's the Sears.
Sears Tower. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's in Chicago.
He's standing.
I think the Chrysler Building's in New York.
Okay, so it might be Chrysler Building.
Whatever. It's not. Yeah. Anyway.
It's a tall edifice.
Yeah. He's standing.
Big ass building.
He's standing out on one of them eagles, drops Trey out and yanks it right there over top of the city.
No.
And he's like, I can do anything I want. I'm the Homelander. Nobody tells me what to do.
Right.
And just keeps repeating that like type of rhetoric over and over and over.
As he's rubbing one out.
Until he finishes.
As he's rubbing one out over the Big Apple.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, the Chrysler Building is in New York. I double checked that.
Okay.
Amazon was like, we pretty much gave you a green light for everything, but that we've got to stop.
Well, that's interesting. Most of their CEOs do that on a regular basis to the young interns.
Now, come on. That's only hearsay. That's not admissible in court.
Well, I didn't hear it. I'm just saying it. That's conjecture.
You're just repeating what you heard.
No, I didn't hear it. I made it up. You can't.
Hey, listen. If we're gonna do all that kind of stuff, we have to bring in David Icke and say it's the lizard people that are doing that. They're not real humans. They're just lizard people.
That guy, he gets it.
I mean, They Live was a good movie, but my goodness,
Yeah. They Live, yes. See, Hollywood was brazen on some of these films. They were just saying, "This is what's going on. What are you going to do about
nanny,
it?"
nanny, boo boo.
Yep.
We've got you.
That's right.
I had to write that somehow.
Yeah, I saw.
We've got they got yoo-hoo for the working man. What is it? Yeah, yoo-hoo for the common man. Isn't that what Jeremy says? Have a glass of yoo-hoo for
Oh
the common man.
yeah,
Have
yeah.
a drink of
Swig
Sprite
of
for the
yoo-hoo
common
for the working man.
Yeah, diabetes for the common man. There you go. Diabetes in a bottle. But yeah, that
Diabetes. Come on, say it right.
Diabetes, yeah. Space diabetes, spyabetes. Now, see, that's it. Just that whole series has got me all discombobulated. I'm like, what did I just watch?
Oh.
Channel Dad, you got it. You got
All
to
right,
finish
I'll have to give it another whirl. I don't know if Fatal J's still around. I could send him a link. Hey Eric, I said actually Eric is still in that Facebook group. I think he got the link if he's still around.
Well, I'm looking at his comment. EVS comes off like a prick, to be honest. Quoting Eric Ward.
Yep.
That's not my.
I get it,
Yeah.
but the man is quite accomplished in the comic book realm, but I understand where he's coming from.
Right, and his way of doing things may not be for everyone. I mean, he might be a little brazen, but I tend to like that type of
Oh no, Eric's not in there. So Eric, if you're still listening, I'll send you the link. You just need a browser. You don't need any of that garbage we used to use. I think.
You're
I don't know. Do you have to download an app if you do it on your phone? I don't do it on my phone. So
No.
No.
I did it on my phone a couple weeks ago, and it worked great.
Yeah. Well, I know Tapman Dye did it on his phone not too long ago. Was that last week? I don't know.
That's why I was like, "Can't you stream tonight?" And he was like, "No."
Yeah, he can, but he's with this Mexican family, man. There's like 75 people in that house.
And is the grass so high that when you mow it, it's got 2 cars in it?
Yeah.
That you didn't know about?
Well, didn't he said he was traveling to like Kansas or something?
Yeah.
Kansas.
Yeah. But I don't remember which side of his family, if he's seeing his dad's side or his mom's side.
So Big B, how long you been married? We're gonna
Me?
get a little personal here. Yes.
You're gonna make me do the math. 27.5 years.
I'm just trying to help you because the date might be coming up and you don't ever forget that.
No, I know when the date is.
Okay. So can you give us unwashed masses and maybe our folks out there what it takes to have a strong relationship?
Learn to say yes, dear. Even when you're not listening, especially when you're not paying attention.
So bend the knee. Learn to bend the knee.
Well, no, it just give up on your expectations.
Oh my gosh!
Unless you get really lucky and you get some, because if you marry a nympho, she's going to leave you, and
because eventually, like a battery, you're going to burn out.
Yeah, just well, we'll put it this way. It is the idea is both sides are supposed to compromise. You will. What did Jordan Peterson just actually listen to a video today about I have his about this little short snippet. But a lot of that conflict that couples that they experience and they think, oh my goodness, this is the end. A lot of that is learning what things you need to give up and what things you need to change on both sides.
Okay.
And because when you're living by yourself, you have your full self-interest, right? You don't have any other responsibilities other than you. And part of you is to create the best you possible. So then when you're in a relationship, you start to create the best you possible for the relationship. And if it's a marriage, then that's what both sides should be creating the best themselves possible within that world of the marriage. And the clapping you might hear is my daughter across the room here. And when you add kids and all that other stuff, it's all about
them.
You got to train the child to realize it's not all about them. So it's all about equipping them to be the best person they can be. That's and that does not mean appeasement and, oh, Johnny, shut up, or if I give you a toy, you'll be quiet. But I understand their kids are very taxing and exhausting. Just ask Eric.
Who?
Eric Ward, because he's
Yeah.
like a few years
Shit.
younger than we are, but his kids are little, so I don't know how he has.
Speaking, we can dovetail into that.
So you started talking about marriage, and 3 people
No,
dropped
no, no,
off.
no. No. I'm gonna. This is gonna be an amplifying information of what you just said. Eric Ward says, "Just give up your soul, and that's marriage for you."
Yeah,
Oh God.
And I quote.
I see that.
Well, I'm putting life to his words.
There
Words
you
to
go.
his words.
There you go.
I totally agree with you. I totally agree. You have a very good grasp on what it takes. So, and it's not easy.
Nope.
It's not easy at all.
And you get about 6, 7, 8 years in, it's like you're either going to survive or it's done. So, but that's that's what the 7-year itch. That's the whole point of it.
True.
But that movie,
not just a great movie.
Yeah. But it's about creating the best self. And now this is something I didn't know when I got married. It's something I had to learn later.
Right.
And of course, Jordan Peterson, it's amazing how often he's able to put in a few succinct words that would take me, a day and a half to describe.
Right.
But that's also why he's Jordan Peterson and I'm me.
He's the great Jordan Peterson.
He's a great Jordan Peterson.
But
he's going through a lot of crap right now with his wife being very ill. But and you can really hear it in his voice. It's really causing a lot of strain. But it's speaking of EVS, it wasn't. He's supposed to. Didn't he do the illustrate? I haven't read that book. Was it 7 Rules for Life?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he did mention that in his opening that he's 25 year. Well, it keeps getting more as I hear it. He's a 52-year veteran of the comics industry.
The years keep going.
And is a comic year like 3.2 years versus a normal human year?
Yeah, well, see, he hasn't been in the comic book industry like for DC or Marvel in a while, but he still keeps abreast of it. So
right. As a matter of fact, I just purchased a Green Lantern comic. I think it was like 2 months ago, and it's an older issue, but it had Ethan Van Sciver on it. And I was like, "Hey, I listened to that guy. I'm going to buy this comic."
12 Rules for Life. Yeah, I need to get that book. But because what's interesting about Jordan's presentations on that, it was really meant for young men, but young women have picked up on the book too. And it really, I watched a thing where he went through the 12 rules, and I forget what university. It was amazing. It was at a university, standing room only crowd. And there were men and women from like 18 to 62 in there. I mean, it was like in all colors and, real pale and real dark and everything in between. And I'm sure there were straight, gay, and otherwise in that group. It's like if you wanted a cross section of humanity, go to a Jordan Peterson speech. Despite what the protesters want to say, it is amazing. It's like, and his is from a scientific standpoint, right? This is a psychologist who's been studying all this stuff for how many years?
As long as EVS has been in comics. Mr. Appalachian American, do you have anything to add to Channel Dad's, Mr. Muffin's ideas of marriage or experience?
No.
What? Come on. That didn't go the way I thought it would.
Yeah, but didn't you just have your first kid like a couple months ago?
Yeah,
month
7
ago?
months back in April.
Congratulations.
Thank you. But
And Brian,
enjoy
you
it,
have how
man,
many
because
children?
before you know it, the one the car keys. I'm serious.
My son came out with a goatee and car keys because he was three weeks late. So yeah, I've been blessed with 4 children, and none of them are the same. You can't broad brush like even the training or the expectations, but they are a blessing, and it is a lot. Like Eric said, it's a lot of hard work.
Yeah,
and
he's got 2 boys.
Wow,
that's a lot of whining in the house.
I had 3 at one time. They were all under 6.
Ugh.
7, sorry.
That's a lot of whining.
And we had one. Our oldest at the time would walk near the, like when we go shopping, he'd walk near the stroller, and we had a front and back type stroller. It was like, it wasn't side to side, it was like a snow speeder. You had
Right.
Luke Skywalker up front and a poor old Dak in the back. So we would play Hoth battles while we were in Target or Walmart. Yeah,
There you go.
here come those, like we do all the whole thing. So it was fun. It was a lot of fun, and a lot of hard times. So you're right.
Yep.
Am I getting too touchy feely here with this?
No, not
You're
to
like,
me.
we're not gonna invite this
No,
guy. He's a little
Tap and
too-
Die and LMP would be like, why are we talking about kids?
No,
Screw this.
we'll
What
be
the?
talking about the porn star that killed herself. Not being a gay.
What? Yeah, we did talk about a porn star who killed herself. That's been a while.
Was it Joe Biden's?
Was there another one recently?
No, or not Joe Biden, but Hunter Biden's little chickie.
Oh god.
She didn't get Arkancided, did she?
Who?
She
I don't know who
probably
you
will.
guys are talking about.
Oh,
The one that LMP talks about all the time?
Hunter Biden, Joe Biden's youngest son, impregnated a DC stripper, and her name, she goes by, let's put some green on the scene for Dallas.
Yeah, I did
Her
hear
name
about
is
that.
Dallas, and now I think this was last year or maybe in August, she sued for child support, and that's why everything came out, because
Oh.
the paternity was determined through DNA, and so that's another stain on the Hunter Biden name. Yeah.
He's such an upstanding citizen.
Yeah, I
just
know.
Can't
I
believe
mean-
anyone would want to go against him. Now,
Right.
I don't remember who LMP talks about all the time.
Oh
I don't-
man, he talks about that chick that killed herself because
Oh, Augustus.
Yeah.
No, August Ames. August
yeah, that sounds about right. I don't know.
something like that.
August
And,
Ames.
I think that's her name. We had her as a Hall of Fame. It was because it made the news. That's how I found out about it. And of course, I always look at these young ladies, and it's like, because all the drugs and everything that they're doing, it's like, oh, she looks like she's 35. She was like 27 or something, or 26, late 20s. I forget the whole thing, but there was another. She did some scene with some, I don't know, some group, and a group, not a group of guys, but as a company, and they're known for some of their more outlandish things. And she wasn't doing that anymore there, and someone else was, and she heard of who the guy that was what she was supposed to be with is also known for doing gay porn. And so she made a she being August, I know I'm playing the pronoun game, whatever her name, August Ames. She tweeted, hey, so and so, you make sure you get a test, just to, on the safe side kind of thing. And the girl that she tweeted that toward basically started harassing her, saying she was homophobic, and someone else picked up on it, and they just basically started harassing the living crap out of her, cyber stalking her and everything else. And many of these young ladies do not have the highest self-esteem, and she ended up killing herself over it. And then they charged I thought they went after the
girl.
Yeah.
Talking about August, so
Yeah.
you should come in here and stop us.
Yeah. But I thought too that they I thought they prosecuted those two or did something. Oh, there's the Hunter. Okay. Did you just tweet that?
I sent that because Eric Ward wanted to know what Biden got kicked out of the Navy for. So I just found that link if we want to.
Being an upstanding citizen, Eric. I mean, come on.
Yeah. How
Had
did he
nothing
get
to
in?
do with
Oh,
his
being
dad,
a Biden. How did he get kicked out? Being a Biden.
Being a Biden. Yeah, being. She was smoking cocaine, man.
Was poking it out, man. And that is against good order and discipline. When you're trying to fly an aircraft, you can't be
What the
high as bejesus on cocaine.
What in the world is going on with my browser? I like the Magic Mouse, but every once in a blue moon, my browsers think I'm resizing to, like a 6-point font. So, anyway, there you go. I guess I can close my Captain Marvel thing. I guess to make sure I don't close the StreamYard tab. Then the show will be over. Very
Well,
abruptly.
not by choice. Just
Good night, folks. Yeah.
see ya, suckers.
All right, we got 6 people watching. Megatron's still around. Prime Mover, I don't know. I guess Fatal J. I don't know if he's still around or not. But I appreciate everybody that's still around. You guys got anything else you want to talk about, or we're gonna start wrapping this puppy up? It's 11 o'clock.
I think you know,
Where I am.
a post turkey evening. I mean, we're still kind of well, you're recovering from the chili and the
Yeah.
bucket of stuff. You
So
and
those,
the
for
donuts.
everyone who missed my episode, we started
Oh,
40 minutes late. 9 o'clock this morning, I was drinking beer and eating donuts, and it just went downhill from there apparently. And
Sounds like a problem.
about 8:20, it all hit, and I was wondering if I was going to live or die in the bathroom. And I don't mean that facetiously. Yeah, my wife even said, "Do I need to take you to the hospital?" I said, "I don't know. I mean, I had my kidneys were hurting. And I'm going to be a little bit crude here, but it really felt like someone was squeezing my right nut, like they owned it.
Oh,
And I was having bouts of nausea, and I was like, then farting, and then it's like, which way is this all going to come out? And then I was hot, so I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be surprised if my testosterone levels were dropping and going up and down, and I was flashing. But yes, you're older. Have you started having hot flashes yet? Did you go through that phase of life?
I have not.
Oh, it's fun. Let me tell you.
Hot flashes. I thought that was like a girl thing.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's not only for women anymore.
It's not only for women; it's for everyone.
Yeah, it started happening in my mid 40s, and I thought, this is the weirdest thing I've ever.
Okay, well, maybe I'm not understanding it when it happens, but what occurs in these hot flashes?
Okay, so for me, this is what happens. Now, granted, I'm a rather tall and lean person, so it typically my testosterone was probably already low. Because even as a kid, when I was very active, building muscle was really, really tough. So for me, basically, sometimes I get a little flushed, not too often, but it's just I get really hot and sweaty for no reason. Okay, I'm just sitting there and I just get, and it lasts for a few minutes. Sometimes my skin would get really hot and hurt. Now, back when I had them more often, I was eating a lot more grains and other things, and have changed my diet since, which has made a big difference. And I was taking niacin tablets, which was horrible, because then I really got flushed. Oh my God, yeah. But that was part of. So I drink stuff that has niacin, other stuff in it, and looks like Seth has had enough of us.
Oh wow!
And he dropped. I don't know.
Sorry, bro. Come on back.
But they're not as intense or as long as my wife's hot flashes. But she's a year younger than I am. But once I went to more meat diet, started eating more eggs, grass-fed beef, grass-fed butter, all that kind of stuff. The stuff that they say not to eat, now they're saying, "Oh, yeah, we got it wrong."
Yes, exactly. Got
rid of the corn oil, saffron, all that crap. Started eating more raw vegetables when I do eat vegetables. It's made a big difference. But sometimes when I get ill or I'm not feeling well, it's like I have a mini episode. And so I had this, I was, and sometimes I would get nauseous with it, but not very often. But this was, headache, nausea, sweats. But the main thing was because my back's not bothering me anymore. So my kidneys must have had something. There must have been something they didn't like. And that was part of it. So that was part of what was freaking me out, was the pains that I was having. It's one thing to have a reaction to something, and, basically my colon decided it wants to empty itself 5 or 6 times. But those other pains, that was what was really freaking me out. And so finally she came and fetched my phone, and I was able to send a message to everybody saying, "Hey, we haven't started because I don't know what's up." Right. But once it finally passed, that was good. And we got the show started about 10 after 9. But
right. Because I saw you with that, what was it? A cold compress on your neck.
Yeah. I was just a washcloth.
You look like you're working out.
Yeah. It was a washcloth that I put cold water on. Welcome back, Appalachian American.
Hey,
Sorry, man.
We talked about
Dude,
you the whole time you were gone, just so you
¿qué
know.
pasó?
I'm sure. I'm sure.
Gave out
I
your
think my charger is messing up because like my laptop was plugged in the whole time, and all of a sudden it just died.
yeah.
So I think I need a new charger.
Double check.
Ooh,
Yeah.
it's super duper hot.
Yeah.
African American Friday, they're probably on sale.
Yeah.
Well, they were. Well, he's in the Central Time Zone, so
yeah, you still got
I think.
some time.
Aren't you in the Central
No,
Time? Huh?
no,
Oh.
I'm on the East Coast.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
man.
you're okay. No, yeah, I know what state you're in.
Appalachian.
Yeah.
Come on, geometry.
You're in Western Virginia.
Geometry.
Geometry. Wait, is he supposed to do? Is he supposed to run like a flight plan to where you're at?
No, I got to take the adjacent hypotenuse and multiply it by the opposite angle.
A squared plus B squared equals Appalachian American.
Squared.
Oh my
Squared.
god.
Over
Wow.
base 10.
Yeah, well, I
I can't
prefer
wait
base 10.
today.
I may be a computer nerd, but my God, when I have to do stuff in, octal or hex or binary, I always I hate that. I had a boss of mine that could read binary really quickly and had a binary clock, and I would just sit there and go, I know I'm supposed to know what time it is, but I don't have any clue.
Hey, Brian,
Yes, sir.
I don't know what you just said, little kid, but you touch a brother's heart.
Yeah. There you go. Something like that. As long as it's the heart.
That's not okay. That's from Jay and Silent Bob.
Oh,
I don't know
if I've
what
ever-
you just said, little kid, but you touch your brother's heart.
Yeah. I don't know if I've seen
Oh,
that whole movie at once. Does that have?
it has everybody in it.
Well, what's the one where what's her name is pregnant and they have to Alanis Morissette plays God.
Oh, that's
Dogma.
Dogma. Okay.
Oh, that's also a gem too.
I like
Now that one
I
I've
like that
seen.
one.
Actually, I've
love
seen
that
parts.
movie.
I've seen the whole thing once. I think I've seen parts of it multiple times. But Jane Silent Bob, I may have seen that. I don't know. I don't know anymore.
Yeah, that came out to basically punk all of Hollywood and make fun of all these, like Miramax films and
Yeah.
But to me, my favorite Kevin Smith film is Dogma.
Yeah.
For
No,
some
I like
reason.
that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those. It was very, to me, if you're thin of skin, you'll be highly annoyed by it. But wasn't the intention of the movie.
Oh,
But
no.
it was pretty interesting. Some of the take on stuff. It was like, I understand where it's coming from. So
Yeah, they were the two angels were they were exiled to Wisconsin. Doesn't get any worse than Wisconsin.
yeah, because that's the only reason why you'd want to live in Wisconsin. That and the cheese.
The cheese, yes.
So
Cool. So, are we at a good stopping point, or
yeah, I think so. I don't have any more topics to go obliterate on. If anyone's got anything you want us to talk about real quickly, put it in the chat. Otherwise, I'll give the Hall of Fame. We'll wrap this up. I mean, we could talk about Baby Yoda and Gina Carano, but who Cecil
Gina
apparently
Carrera.
likes.
Gina
Carano.
Carrera.
Carano. No,
Is it
Carano.
Carrano? Have you seen the film Haywire?
No.
Okay, it's kind of a sleeper hit. Look it up. Awesome Gina Carano. It's like her first big film. And she's kicking okay. This is okay. We were watching it last night and I was like, okay, what kind of drug deal happened here? And I mean that in the loosest sense. The director is showing Gina Carano's assets and the various parts of her body, which they showed it very well. Now, she's an upstart actress coming from, I think she was UFC or something.
Yeah, something.
I
Like
mean,
that.
some kind of fighting thing, right? Some athletic thing. She doesn't really act well. Matter of fact, she's more wooden than Mannequin Skywalker himself, Hayden Christensen in the prequel trilogy, but she gets by. Here's her supporting cast: Ewan McGregor, Michael Douglas, Antonio Banderas.
Yeah, I'm looking at the IMDb page. Yeah. Wow.
I mean, it's got a pretty
Channing Tatum.
Channing Tatum, who plays a badass. I mean, he's pretty good. I loved him in what was that movie? 21 Jump Street.
Michael Fassbender.
Michael Fassbender. I mean, how did they get all these people to sign on and be part of this film of a brand new actress? I don't know.
Yeah, 2011. Wow. I don't know if I've seen that.
You gotta watch it. It is so good. The fight scenes in there are incredibly choreographed. She's a badass in it, but she just can't act.
Yeah.
Well, she doesn't have to. Look at her supporting cast.
Yeah. Well, I'm not a when what's her name was the latest ticket on the wrestling stuff.
Becky Lynch.
Huh?
Were you talking about Becky Lynch?
No. She came from MMA. She was in Expendables, whatever it was, 2 or 3.
Oh yeah.
And then she got beat. She got
Rousey.
Yeah, Ronda Rousey. She was real popular, and then she basically took the eye off the ball, and then she got back in the ring and just got annihilated.
And Holly Holm kicked the crap out of her.
10 seconds, it was over. Yeah. Yep. But I saw when she was doing her WWE stuff or WWF or whatever they call it these days. And I think I was at the gym and I saw some clips of it or something somewhere. Cause I don't watch. I mean, our television the tuner hasn't worked in years, and no one, if it's on, it's because I'm watching Netflix through the Blu-ray or something. But, just her speed, it was noticeable over the other WWE regulars. I mean, it was insane. It's like she would get to her position and then have to wait 3 or 4 seconds for the other person to get there. It was,
okay. I see what you're saying.
It was like she was used to just so much faster pace. And I was like, but and her moves look more real because she had real training. And for the most part, the rest of it is more acrobatic. I mean, you got to land right.
Right. Yeah.
Or, some of that's, I mean, they do get hurt, but some of that stuff, if it was really real, they would be, dead basically.
Yeah.
But, so I have to check it out. So, let's start wrapping this up for good. We're losing some viewers anyway, but, so I chose, Karen, Fukuhara. Yeah. Karen Fukuhara for the Hall of Fame tonight. 2 reasons. One, she's cute.
You want to speak with my manager?
Yeah. And she played Katana in Suicide Squad.
Okay.
And the other one's to kind of wag a finger at the our first topic tonight, because I did not choose a comic book picture of her, but she does play a comic book hero, and the FTC might decide that is targeted at children, but we'll see.
Wow.
So, and she's cute, and she has, I could not find her measurements other than her height. It was 5'2" or 5'3", something like that. So, Suicide Squad was one of those very strange movies, because I like parts of it because of the music, and some of it was very kind of silly. And it was a movie night with my wife and daughter, so it was an good time. Good night, Tommy. Thanks so much for stopping by. But any last thoughts before we completely close out? 105? No. And
I'd like to say, don't people out there, don't be mean. Don't be mean, because remember, wherever you go, there you are.
There you are. I think that's Forrest Gump.
It's actually Buckaroo Banzai.
Buckaroo Banzai. But anyway, and I did talk about Cecil in the description, because I haven't reached out to him in a while, but I have tried on a couple times on Twitter to get his attention. But hey, we're only 100 subscribers, so he probably went like, hello, why would I want to be on your show? But he could be as drunk as he wants, and if he'd come on the show, I'd get some Bullet Rye and drink it with him. I mean, he doesn't live anywhere close to me, so I can't drink side by side. But anyway,
Himself. You'd offer no
absolutely
holds
right.
barred.
And please, this is if anything tonight, please take away this truth as seen on the screen and given by Tommy. All right. Well, I have been your host, Brain Muffin the Lift Nerd, also known as Cuck Muffin, Brain, a bunch of other stuff, Channel Dad, Brian Lape, and whatever else I want to go by. I am working on, I don't know when I'm going to shoot it, but I am working on a new twist on some reviews. I've been watching the Try Channel, a bunch of Irish people trying stuff from all over the world, but usually American. And at Jungle Gyms, they have the Angry Irishman's hot sauce. And so I'm thinking of doing some kind of review of that as my 6 various personalities. So if you've seen any of my split screen work, and I'm trying to learn how to do this stuff side by side, where I hand beer to myself and steal beer from myself and all that stuff, there's a method to my madness of learning how to do that. I'm just going to get my camera to behave a little bit better.
That's amazing.
That's unreal. So any last thoughts, Appalachian American?
Nope.
And I want to thank Nine Numb, also known as Prime Mover, for joining us tonight. Let me know if you want to come back on, and I'll send you the link, and you can be part of the fun and games.
It's been wonderful. I appreciate you guys letting me into your sandbox to play, and hopefully we can come back and do it again.
Yep. Maybe next time we'll talk a little less about conspiracies and politics, but we'll see. You know, when the politicians are getting involved in pop culture, sometimes you still have to talk about them, unfortunately.
The lines have become blurred.
The lines are erased and our brains are encased. All right. Thank you very much, everyone. See you next week. And there's no outro. So goodbye.